Hi everybody, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today I have a layout that I made using the My Creative Scrapbook limited edition kit from October of 2024. Just catching up on all of my videos from layouts that I created but then never had the opportunity to finish the videos for. This is going to be a fall themed layout, and I'm starting off with one of the frames that was included in the kit, and then I used some Victorian Velvet Distress Oxide, and I just colored in the whole frame so that it went from being kind of an off-white to a pinkish color. Then I used some Distress Oxide spray in Victorian Velvet, and I mixed it together with some modeling paste. I'm using a stencil from my stash, and I'm going to create some texture and some pattern on the frame. So even though both the Distress Oxide spray and the ink pad are both called Victorian Velvet, you could still see the difference between the Victorian Velvet modeling paste and the ink that I used to cover the frame. So the modeling paste looks a little bit darker, and so it makes a very subtle pattern, but still a pattern on the frame. Here I'm wiping away the excess modeling paste from the edges, and then I set the frame aside to dry. So for this layout, I'm going to use these light colored strips of paper on a darker background. So I could have cut these strips with my trimmer, but I decided that I was going to use some dies that I have. They are made by Tall Mouse Creative Arts. And I guess a lot of card makers use these strips, but I thought these would be perfect for the many layouts that I make where I use strips of paper. The strips are different lengths, and they are 3/4 of an inch wide. And one thing that I really like about this die is that it creates like a faux stitching look around the edge of the strips. So I thought I would give them a try, something a little bit different. I'm using some Distress ink and Vintage Photo to ink the edges, not only of all those strips of paper, but also of my frame and some of the other embellishments that I plan to include on my layout. I should mention that the strips were made with a set of dies, not just one die. And I like the way there were different lengths, and I'm going to try to make use of all those different lengths on my layout. So I'm going to be attaching the strips of paper down to this piece of white paper. That way I can move the whole unit around and position it correctly on the page. I wanted to start out with shorter lengths of the strips and then make them bigger as they went down the page. And I also want to stagger them. I don't want them to look like they're all lined up. Now I'm playing around with the strips of paper. I keep the frame handy so that I can keep trialing it on top of the strips of paper to see how it looks and see if I've achieved the look that I had in my head. Although I don't know if my vision was totally clear. I just had kind of a vague idea of what I wanted to achieve here. So I found that I had a lot of shorter strips and I needed some longer ones. So I moved some of the longer strips down, and then I put the shorter strips behind the frame so that you won't see where the two pieces come together because the photo will be covering it. I guess I was going to have the small strips at the top and then the larger ones in the middle and then go back to small strips again. I'm not sure if the layout ends up really looking that way, but that was my thought process at the time. And then I used some ATG adhesive and I attached all these strips down to this piece of white cardstock. And it looks like I did most of the attaching down off camera. And now that everything is glued to this piece of paper, I'm going to just cut off the excess white paper. And of course, you could just go ahead and attach these strips of paper right down to the background, but this is preferable to me this way. If I decide to slide the strips up or down or to the left or to the right, it's so much easier because I've had so many experiences where I've attached things down like this and then wanted to move them, and it was a little bit tricky. So I prefer not to attach things down until I'm absolutely sure I have them in the right spot. So you can see here that I'm switching some strips of paper around. I honestly don't recall what caused me to do that, but I did a little bit of a switcheroo, and now my strips of paper are ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to add are some images that I fussy cut out of another piece of pattern paper. And I'm going to have my strips of paper pretty much where they are right now, kind of a little bit over to the left-hand side with the large image that I fussy cut out in the lower corner. And then on the right-hand side, I have this image of a bird, which I have kind of halfway down the page, but I'm going to end up moving that a little bit further up on the page so that it balances the other fussy cut image in the other corner. If I put another cluster kind of to the upper left-hand corner that would probably balance out those two other clusters. But because I just have the two clusters, I have to have that cluster on the right all the way up at the top. And then there was some packaging that had some leaves printed on it, so I fussy cut all of those images out, and I'm layering them on top of that big piece in the lower left-hand corner. And I think they look kind of cool because they were cut out of the packaging, which has kind of a light lamination or shine to it. So I think they add a nice little touch to that cluster. So now I'm trying to extend the strips a little bit more to the right-hand side. So I cut the strips where you won't be able to see the cuts, and I'm moving the strips that I cut a little bit over to the right, and then I'm going to layer my frame and my photo on top of those areas, and so you won't be able to see those gaps. And then this is where I moved the cluster on the right-hand side a little further up the page, and I think that looks a little bit better. And the cluster on the right is actually made of two different pieces. The bird and the leaves on top of it, that was fussy cut out of the same packaging that I cut the leaves on the other cluster from. And then underneath it is a branch that was fussy cut out of a piece of pattern paper. And that's one of the nice thing about the 49 and Market products. There are so many images to work with that it makes it really fun to cut things out and combine them. I just really love those 49 and Market collections. So now I'm going to attach that strip of strips down to the page. I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks, and I feel like I am confident where I am placing it. So I'm finally attaching it down. And then something that is super important to me is to make sure that when I put elements like this down on my pages that they are straight, because that can really derail the entire layout if I attach them down crooked and don't realize it until later on. It's definitely happened to me before, so I try to be really careful of that. And having a T-square, that ruler that has the piece at the top, is definitely helpful for making sure that things are straight. So in the kit, there was a whole pack of stickers. So I'm using this title. It says Hello October. And even though it's not from 49 and Market, the colors went along really well with this collection. So I picked out Hello, which is in a kind of manuscript font, and then the October is in a script. So I like to combine those two different types of fonts together. And I'm including a number of butterflies on the page, just like with the leaves. Some of them were fussy cut from some packaging, so they're a little shiny, and then some of them were fussy cut from some of the papers, and those have a little bit of a dull finish to them. So I'm including the two that I cut out of the packaging at the top. And then I'm putting a little bit of foam underneath their wings, something that I do all the time just to give them a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to be putting my photo behind the frame in a few moments, but I was thinking that it would be nice to have a dark mat all around the outside of that pink frame. So I cut a piece of white cardstock to size, and now I'm using the Distress ink, and instead of just inking the edges, I inked the surface, just a little bit of it, just because a very small amount of the edge is going to show. And then before I attach my photo down to the frame, I decided I wanted to add a little bit of white to the frame, so I used this dot stencil and some white modeling paste. This time I didn't add anything to it, and I added just a few dots to the frame just to lighten it up a little bit, just in a few spots. And then I attached my photo to the frame, and then the frame down to the mat that I just made. So I really like this point in the layout where I have the main composition done, like all the elements are in place, and now I can concentrate on all the little finishing touches. Not that it means that the layout is almost done, because I can often spend just as much time adding embellishments to the layout as I do attaching down the larger elements. So first I add these dimensional flowers to my layout, and I should mention that the vast majority of papers and embellishments that I use to make this layout are from the limited edition kit that I'm working with from My Creative Scrapbook. A lot of times I'll get comments asking me where I got things, but I generally get everything from the kit. The only things that I add on are usually things like inks and stencils and modeling paste, and maybe some things like pearls and enamel dots, but the large items are all from the kit. I'm using two different colors. I have this really pretty kind of greenish blue color. And then I also have some off-white flowers. And then in addition to the larger flowers, there were a lot of little tiny flowers and buds. So I'm incorporating those in with the clusters as well. And the photo that I'm using in this layout is of my two daughters, which 99% of the layouts that I make feature a photo of at least one of my daughters. We went apple picking, and if you happen to see any of the other videos that I've just released, I took a whole bunch of photos on this day, and a lot of them came out, I thought, really cute and went really well with this particular collection. It went really well with all the fall colors, and you could see the trees in the background are changing color, and so I thought this would be the perfect kit to document these memories. So now I'm trialing some other embellishments on the page. That sign to the right of the photo, I think it looks kind of good there, but it doesn't stay there. I end up taking that away. And I add these really fine embellishments from the laser cut pack. They look like little spirals. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but they fit in perfectly with the floral clusters. So I decided to go ahead and include those. I also put a tab to the right hand side of the frame, and I'm going to use a stamp later on and put the date on there. All of my layouts have the date written on the back. I used to make my layout, I would forget to write down the date, and then when I would go to put the layout into an album, it would take me so long to figure out which album it went into. So a few years ago, I made stickers, and on these stickers, I record all of the important information. For example, what is the date of the photo, whose album it goes in, which of my two daughters' albums it goes in, a description of like what materials I used, and then what date I scrapbooked it, and then if it's for a particular challenge or hop. And that has totally changed my way of scrapbooking. It's so much easier for me to put layouts away and for me to remember things about creating the layout. So that was one positive change that I made in my whole process. So I added some foam hearts. I put some pearls on the butterflies and then also on those hearts. And I stamped my date, October 11th of 2020. I can't believe that it was 5 years ago that we went apple picking. It seemed like we just did this. And now I'm adding some splatters of watered down white acrylic paint to my background. And I thought I better cover up my photo before I added splatters closer to the center of the layout. So then I made some little adjustments to some of the embellishments that I have surrounding the floral clusters. And then after I made those little changes, I decided that I wanted to add some highlights to the flowers. So I'm using my heavy gesso. I've had this tub of heavy gesso forever. I have to keep spraying water on it because the top is kind of warped. So sometimes I think the air is getting into it. So it still works, so I'm still going to try to use it as much as possible. And if this dries out, I could also use some white acrylic paint or just some regular gesso too. Whenever I add gesso to flowers, I always like to be very light-handed. I just touch the brush to the petals. This is sped up, so it looks like I'm really spreading it around very quickly, but I am very gently dabbing it so that not too much of the color gets onto the flowers. I only want there to be some highlights. And now the layout is complete, and here are a few close-ups. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. And if you're leaving me comments, I will answer them. I'm just trying so hard to get all of these videos out before the end of the summer. So I will get to your comments. I really appreciate them. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, as always, I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. And I also want to thank you for watching it. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.